Welcome to the Shift into What's Next podcast, where embracing change can ignite a world of possibilities.
Hey now, I'm your host, Elise Ancel, and welcome back to a space where we have real conversations talking about the challenges that try to shake us but never break us. Today, we're talking about those moments when you take inventory of what you have left, your energy, your resources, your motivation, and realize just how low the supply is. That's where I found myself. As this season started winding down, I looked around and thought, this is it? This is all I have left? Even though I've been careful, stretching what I had, only using what was necessary, I still didn't seem to have enough to step into what's next the way I had imagined. I pictured a grand exit, one where I walked away strong, confident, fully prepared. But instead, I'm here with just the bare necessities, wondering how I'm supposed to move forward with this little bit I have left. And if I'm being real, it's not looking too good for the kind of transition I hoped for. This season lasted far longer than I expected. I've given it everything I had, and at this point, I'm just waiting for the way out to be revealed, waiting for the resources to show up, waiting for that moment when I can finally say it's over. And honestly, I am grateful that this chapter is coming to a close, but I can't shake the question, what was this fight all about? I don't have all the answers yet. I just know that while I may be exhausted, I also feel strong. Somehow, despite it all, my spirit is still standing. So let's talk about it for a moment. Some seasons take longer than expected. You think it's just a short detour, but months turn into years, and suddenly you're still there, still pushing, still waiting, still figuring things out. Maybe it was a job you thought would be temporary, but stretched out. Maybe it was a difficult phase in life that just wouldn't let up. Whatever it was, the longer it lasted, the more it drained you. Then there's the weight of unmet expectations. We all have a vision of how we want things to go. We imagine smooth transitions, clean breaks, and walking away feeling accomplished. But instead, we limp into the next chapter, carrying exhaustion, uncertainty, and sometimes even doubt. And that can be frustrating because this isn't how we saw it happening. But here's the thing, survival doesn't always look pretty, but it's still survival. You may not feel like you're thriving right now, but if you're still here, you've already won half the battle. The fact that you're still standing, even with less than you expected, proves that you're stronger than you think. Maybe the real win isn't about having an abundance of resources, but realizing that even in your lack, you're still moving forward. So what do you have left? Because even if it's just a little, it's enough to take the next step. It's easy to focus on what's missing, what's gone, what didn't work out, but sometimes all you need is a little faith, a little fight, a little hope, and that's enough to get you where you're going. So let's take a moment to reflect. Think about a time when you felt like you had nothing left. Maybe you were mentally drained, financially strapped, or emotionally spent, but somehow you made it through. What was it that kept you going? Maybe it was faith. Maybe it was the simple fact that quitting wasn't an option. Maybe it was just knowing you had to see it through. Have you ever just been frustrated by how long a season lasted? Maybe you thought a difficult job would just be a stepping stone, but years later, you were still stuck. Maybe a tough situation dragged on longer than you expected, but looking back, did that extra time prepare you for something bigger? Did it strengthen you in ways you didn't realize at the time? What did you expect your transition to look like? Did you picture walking away with a victory lap, or did you find yourself crawling toward the finish line? What if the real success isn't in how smoothly you leave, but in the fact that you made it through it all? What do you have left? Even if it's not much, is it enough to take the next step? Maybe you don't have an abundance of resources, but you still have wisdom. Maybe you don't feel strong, but you still have resilience. Maybe all you have is faith that things will work out, and sometimes that's all you need. So, as we wrap up this episode, I don't know exactly how your season is ending. Maybe you're stepping into what's next feeling prepared. Or maybe, like me, you're looking at what's left and wondering how it's supposed to be enough. But one thing I do know, you're still standing. You may be tired, but you're here. You may not have all the answers, but you've made it this far. And that means you have what it takes to keep going. So don't get caught up in what you thought this ending should look like. Don't underestimate the power of what you still have. It might not be what you planned, but it's enough. And sometimes enough is all you need. Until next time, keep pushing forward. You've got this.
Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and like, share, or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, and feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear how your shift is unfolding.